My wife cheated on me with a plumber after I installed a smart bidet in our bathroom and started tweaking it through an app. We'd been together 8 years, married for 6, and if you'd told me a heated toilet seat with user profiles would end my marriage, I would have laughed in your face. I'm 33. Call me Alex. My wife Emily is 32. We weren't some Instagram perfect couple, but we also weren't constantly on the brink of disaster. Normal life, mortgage, a cat, jobs, Netflix nights, dumb arguments about dishes and who forgot to buy milk. I trusted her because she wasn't secretive. Her phone was always lying around. We knew each other's passwords, shared friends, shared plans. I never once felt like she was hiding a second life. This is just a bidet. What could possibly go wrong? I said when this all started. Our toilet tank started leaking. I called building maintenance. The guy came over, poked around for 5 minutes, and hit me with the classic, easier to replace the whole thing. So I went online to look for a new toilet and, like an idiot, fell straight into the smart home rabbit hole. Smart lights, smart kettles, smart blinds, and of course, a smart bidet with app control. I showed it to Emily. We laughed, but the idea stuck in my head. If we were replacing it anyway, why not make it comfortable? Emily said, "You're not actually buying that." Why not? Heated seat, nightlight, water saving. Alex, that sounds like a gadget for people who are bored. Then I guess I'm bored, I said. She rolled her eyes. Tidal energy. He bought a smart bidet. Everything went downhill. I installed the toilet myself, but called a plumber to hook it up properly. A neighbor gave me the number of a decent guy. His name was Mark, early 40s, confident, polite, wore shoe covers, didn't try to upsell me on nonsense. He connected everything, tested it, explained what might leak, and left his card. Text me if anything acts up. Emily was working from home that day. She came out, looked at him a second longer than necessary, and said, "Finally a normal plumber." Not rude. I thought nothing of it. Then came the app. To unlock all the features, you had to connect it to Wi-Fi and create user profiles. For me, it was like setting up a new PC. I created Alex and Emily, adjusted her settings to a gentler pressure because I wanted to be thoughtful, and selected what the manual called female mode. Emily saw the screen and snapped, "Are you adjusting my pressure?" "Yeah, so it's comfortable for you." "I don't need you adjusting my pressure." She walked away. Tidal vibe. She got angry over water pressure. I told myself she was just tired, but over the next few days she was colder. I asked, "What's wrong?" "Nothing." "You're clearly upset." "I'm just tired. Don't make this a thing." That's when the small weird stuff started. She began locking herself in the bathroom for a long time. We have one bathroom. Before it was in and out. Now it was 20 minutes, sometimes more. I tried joking. "You watching Netflix in there?" From behind the door. "Leave me alone." Then the app started sending notifications. Device updated. Settings changed. Fine. But one day, new profile created, guest. I asked, "Did you add someone?" She didn't look up. "No." "The app says there's a guest profile. You probably clicked something." "I didn't." "Alex, don't start." Preview text. There was a guest profile on our toilet. I deleted the guest profile. The next day it was back. Max heat, max pressure, purple lighting. Emily hated purple. I asked again, more seriously, "This isn't you?" "I don't touch your stupid toy," she said, emphasizing toy. Tidal energy. She called it my toy. Then came the phone calls. She started stepping onto the balcony to get some air. One time I caught fragments of a conversation. Yeah, it works. No, he doesn't know. Of course I'll handle it. I stepped out with a mug and asked, "Who are you talking to?" She jumped. "My mom." "Your mom's asking if it works?" "Oh my God, Alex, can you not be weird?" Preview line. She flinched when I stepped outside. Then Mark's business card disappeared from the dresser. "Where'd it go?" I asked. "I threw it away. It was clutter." "Why that one specifically? Are you seriously auditing trash now?" That was her move. Turn every question into me being crazy. And the worst part? It worked. I started doubting myself. Maybe I was fixating. Maybe I was annoying. Maybe this was all in my head. Title vibe. She made me feel crazy. Then came Saturday. I went to help my dad with his car. Came home early. Opened the door and heard water running in the bathroom and a man laughing. Not TV laughter. Not a video. A real laugh. I froze. "Emily?" Water shut off. Silence. Then her voice. "Why are you home already?" "Dad didn't need me." "Who's here?" "No one." She came out in a robe, hair wet, smiling too hard. "You hungry? I'll make something." I said. I heard a man's voice. She didn't blink. It was a podcast. I listen to podcasts in the shower. You're doing it again. Preview text. A podcast in the shower? Sure. The speaker in the bathroom was off. Her phone was on the bed in the bedroom. I saw it, but I didn't argue. I already knew arguing would get me nowhere. I went to the kitchen, then my phone buzzed. Mode activated, deep clean, user, guest. Timestamp, exactly when I walked in. Deep clean was max everything, and it was triggered by guest while I wasn't home. This wasn't anxiety. This was data. Title energy. Guest mode turned on while I was gone. I opened the activity log. It showed a new device connected. That meant someone entered our Wi-Fi password and paired their phone to the bidet. A real person. In my apartment. I went back and said calmly, "Emily, a third phone keeps connecting to our bidet." She sighed like I was exhausting. "Are you okay? It's a toilet." "It's a device, and it shows a new connection." "Call customer support then." "I'm asking because I want to know who it is." "Anyone. You bought a stupid thing. It's glitching." Preview line. She blamed the toilet. I called support. They explained in plain English. New connections are always manual. After that, I unplugged the bidet. Emily stared at me like I'd unplugged her life support. "What are you doing?" "Until we know what's happening, it's off. You can't just..." "I can." Title vibe. She looked like I cut the power to her. That evening, she suddenly got soft, made tea, sat close. "Let's not fight over a toilet." "We're not fighting over a toilet." "You're obsessed with control, Alex. First the router, then the filters. Now this. You control everything." The word control hit like an accusation. And it clicked. She wasn't trying to solve anything. She was trying to make me feel guilty enough to drop it. The next day while she was out, I did something I still hate remembering. I installed a small camera in the hallway, pointed at the front door, not the bathroom, not the bedroom, just the entrance. I told myself it didn't cross a line. Looking back, the line had already been burned down. Preview text. I installed a camera in the hallway. 2 days later, I checked the footage. Midday, while I was at work, Emily opened the door and let Mark in. The plumber. He walked in carrying a bag like this was a date, not a repair call. They headed toward the bathroom. I watched it 3 times. Tidal energy. The plumber came without a call. I didn't text her. I didn't confront her yet. I needed a moment she couldn't talk her way out of. The next day I told her I'd be late. Parked on the next street and waited. At 3:42 p.m., Mark walked up to our door. Emily opened it almost immediately, and right there in the hallway, they kissed. Fast, casual, familiar. Preview text. They kissed at our door. I waited 5 minutes, then went up and unlocked the door with my key. Water was running. Voices. I walked down the hall and said, "Hey." The bathroom door opened. Mark was buckling his belt. Emily stood there with wet hair and the look of someone about to explain everything. I said calmly, "Mark, right? The plumber." Emily immediately went on offense. "You were spying on me." "Yes," I said, "because there was a guest in our house." "You're sick, Alex. Cameras, tracking. You're paranoid." I looked at Mark. "Leave." He tried to mumble something about just checking something. On the floor was a bag with wine and fruit. "Checking what?" I asked. "Water temperature? Tidal energy." He came to check the water. Mark left fast. At the door he muttered, "I didn't want trouble." "Then don't bring wine to someone else's bathroom," I said. Preview text. Wine for a repair visit. When it was just us, Emily stopped yelling and sat on the edge of the tub. "Let's talk calmly." "Calmly?" I nodded toward the door. "This is calm." She switched to the tone she used when she wanted to sound reasonable. "You smothered me. You decide everything, even this, even in the bathroom. You set my modes like I'm a device." He asked what I liked. I almost laughed, almost screamed. "You're justifying cheating because a plumber asked what you liked? You're not listening. You do everything for us, but it's really for you." Title vibe. She said I controlled even the toilet. I said, "If you needed something, you could have said it, with words." I tried. "No, you sulked, gaslit me, and let him into our home." She covered her face. "It was only a few times. There was a guest profile on our bidet, Emily. Don't lie." She looked up, half shame, half anger. "You even checked that?" "I checked because you made me feel insane." Preview text. She was angrier about the camera than about him. I didn't yell. I just said, "You're not sleeping here tonight. This is my apartment too. Then I'll leave. But I'm not sharing a bed with you." She went to her mom's with one suitcase. I stayed in the apartment where every object suddenly felt foreign. I stared at that stupid bidet and thought, for one humiliating second, that if I'd bought a normal toilet, none of this would have happened. Then it hit me. It wasn't the toilet. It was that she found the dumbest excuse possible to justify what she wanted. Tidal energy. If I'd bought a normal toilet. A week later, we met to talk logistics, mortgage, bills, the cat. We sat like roommates. "I'll go to therapy," she said. "I want to fix this." "Did you stop talking to him?" She hesitated. "Just a second." But that second was louder than any confession. "He texts," she said quietly. "I don't know how to end it." Preview text. 1 second of silence. I nodded. "Then there's nothing to fix. You're still keeping the door open. But you love me. I love someone I trusted. I don't know who you are now." She cried, said it was stupid, that she was confused, that I didn't hear her. And all I could hear was how she kept trying to split the blame. Like this was a communication issue, not her letting another man into our bathroom. Title vibe. She wanted to split the blame. We filed for divorce. I won't go into details. The drama was quiet. Friends asked what happened. I just said, she cheated. I never mentioned the trigger. It sounded like a joke, and it hurt too much to laugh. I sold the bidet. The guy who picked it up smiled. My wife's gonna love this. Heated seat is amazing. I nodded and said, just don't use guest mode. Preview text. Just don't use guest mode. Now it's just me and the cat. Emily still texts sometimes about talking, but I don't reply. Not because I'm strong, because every "let's just talk" reminds me how she made me feel crazy while there was a guest in our house. So here's my question to anyone listening. When the reason sounds ridiculous but the damage is real, is it really about not feeling heard? Or was the excuse just there to make cheating feel justified?